Welcome back to our channel. Today we will bring you the exciting and dramatic developments of the movie Beyond the Gates. It was pouring rain that afternoon, as Eva sat huddled in the car. Her hands gripping the cold steering wheel so tightly that they were almost frozen, her eyes glued to the accident records left on the passenger seat. Each word burned in her mind. Replaying the terrifying moment when Laura's car crashed hard at the Kensington intersection. The seemingly simple collision pushed everything into an uncontrollable chain of chaos. Laura was hospitalized in critical condition, and the truth about the driver that day became a dark secret that was desperately hidden. None other than Leslie, Eva's mother, was the one who drove in a moment of panic and caused the accident. But when it seems like everything is about to fall into oblivion, Ted's arrival is a deadly blow, forcing Eva to face a devastating choice: take the blame for her mother or let it all fall apart. Ted is no longer a mere bystander. His deep involvement with Leslie in the past has created an odd and dangerous alliance. Ted is no longer the seemingly calm man Eva once knew. He has become a cold manipulator, knowing exactly when to strike and how to force his opponent to submit. With a stack of documents in hand, including a dashcam that no one knows exists, Ted approaches Eva and presents her with a seemingly dead-end choice. If she does not turn herself in and admit that she was the driver that day, he will turn the video over to the police and set off an investigation that will never be salvaged. In Ted's eyes, Eva's sacrifice to protect Leslie was not only a family duty, but also a tool he used to control both mother and daughter. Eva struggled through long sleepless nights. Her mind tried to convince her that this was a necessary action to preserve the family's reputation, so that her mother would not have to enter the cold interrogation room and face the judgment of society. But her heart could not stop screaming at the injustice. Every time she looked at her mother, Leslie's eyes seemed to beg for forgiveness, but at the same time reflected a paralyzing fear. She was no longer the strong woman that Eva had admired, but had become someone haunted by her mistakes, hiding in shame and worrying to the point of exhaustion. Eva understood that if her mother were brought to light, she would not be able to live. However, Eva also clearly felt that she was being pushed into a cruel chess game in which Ted was the chess player. The coercion was not only to protect Leslie, but also to control Eva, to turn her into a puppet in his hands. Her every move, every word was monitored, every phone call startled her. Ted had carefully calculated that every path would lead to Eva's absolute surrender. He did not make loud threats, but that calculated silence was what made her suffocate. A week after receiving the warning from Ted, Eva walked into the police station. She wore a simple white shirt, her face was bare of makeup, her eyes were hard but contained the utmost despair. In the statement, she clearly wrote that on that night, she was the one driving the car and caused the accident with Laura. The police recorded the statement, started the investigation, and the media immediately focused on Eva as a fallen golden girl, destroying the perfect image she had built. Leslie was silent, hiding in the dark, not daring to look straight at her daughter. As for Ted, he chuckled, satisfied with the upper hand he had just gained. However, Eva was never one to give in easily. After pushing herself into a criminal situation, she began to turn the tables with a bold plan. She secretly investigated the connection between Ted and her mother in the past, exploited every fragment of memory that Leslie had blurted out, dug into financial records, contacted old family friends. She began to discover the truth was much darker than Laura's accident. Ted had been Leslie's secret business partner in an illegal project many years ago, a project that had caused a man to mysteriously disappear. That man, none other than, was Eva's biological father. The accident was just the tip of the iceberg. Eva realizes that she is not only a victim in a power play, but also a hidden piece in a conspiracy to cover up a serious crime that happened many years ago. Her father's death was not an accident, as her mother had said, but the result of a brutal betrayal between those closest to her. Ted was the last person to see him alive, and Leslie was the one who suddenly had a huge amount of money to support Eva throughout her childhood. Documents, old emails, deleted but recovered messages all lead to the same point. Eva was just a pawn kept to assuage guilt. Eva stood still, watching the flashbulbs of the reporters, feeling Ted's footsteps approaching in the dark night. Her plan had succeeded beyond expectations. But at the same time it had opened a new war, more fierce than ever. The photos, emails, and recordings she gave to the media not only exposed Ted's lies but also shook Leslie's most solid foundation, the woman she had loved and respected the most in her life. The news spread like wildfire, forcing both of them to face the bitter truth. Leslie, who had been the pillar of the family, now became the focus of public opinion. People saw her no longer as a gentle mother, but as an accomplice in a network of financial crimes and concealment of her husband's death. She could not deny the evidence Eva presented to the police and the media. Leslie's silence in public was no longer a sign of patience, but a sign of mental collapse. She retreated into the shadows, where no one could see her, no one was by her side. The mother-daughter relationship was broken painfully and irreparably. Ted did not give in easily. He began to fight back by releasing confidential information about Eva's past, even threatening to make public the dark secrets that Eva tried to bury. The police began to investigate more broadly the actions of both Leslie and Ted, involving corruption, blackmail, and possibly murder. But this time, Eva was no longer alone. She had joined forces with influential people in the press and law, using the power of truth as a weapon to repel the threat from Ted. However, not only external forces. Eva also had to face fierce internal conflicts. She must balance revenge and compassion, between exposing the truth and protecting her remaining loved ones. The long nights of restlessness leave her increasingly exhausted, but also train her to have a strong will, not to falter even when the world seems to be collapsing around her. In the meantime, an unexpected incident occurs that completely disrupts all of Eva's plans. An anonymous letter is sent to her law office, revealing new evidence, a tape recording of a conversation between Leslie and a stranger. Revealing that she once planned to hide the truth not only about the accident but also about a conspiracy related to Eva's husband's death. This tape can change the whole situation, clarifying all the mysteries, but at the same time it also puts Eva in an extremely dangerous situation. When the enemies are not only Ted but also the ghosts of the past that are haunting her family. The truth is revealed in a devilish game of cards. Eva is forced to choose between continuing the public battle with Ted and Leslie, or finding a way to resolve it quietly, protecting herself and her loved ones from a tragedy that could strike at any moment. Each decision contains risks and sacrifices, leading to increasingly complex and dramatic plot twists. In that context, Eva discovers an unexpected connection. Laura, the victim of the accident, is not quite the outsider everyone thought. The young girl seems to know more than what she has declared, and may hold the key to solving the mystery behind the incident. Eva embarks on a dangerous journey to approach Laura, learn the real story and try to forge a fragile alliance between those who have been hurt by Ted and Leslie. As the final pieces of the puzzle are assembled, a terrible picture of betrayal, lies and ambition is revealed. Eva finds herself fighting not only for justice, but also to save her family's very soul from the abyss of darkness. Follow our channel to stay updated with the shocking and dramatic developments of this exciting ongoing series.